Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing Miss Jaeger and myself to have the opportunity to share with you all of the amazing experiences and successes that we've experienced at Maple School this year. We'd like to start off by reminding you all about our school improvement plan goals. Goal number one, with a focus on helping students reach their academic potential. Goal number two focuses on creating a safe and inclusive school community where students feel as though they can belong and can connect with their school. And goal number three focuses on opportunities to extend what we're doing in school to the community, promoting partnership and, of course, hearing community voice as we continue to evolve our practices. In looking at goal number one, we start with our professional learning teams and our professional development. Every other week, we meet with our staff in departments or grade levels to go over different academic goals and data that we've collected. And these high yield strategies that were presented during a professional development by the North Cook Intermediate Service Center really helped inform a lot of the strategies that we started seeing from our teachers as they do tend to lend themselves to high results and impressive results. So our teachers really took their input to heart and developed instruction that was based on research. Here we have some examples of some beautiful ways that our teachers have engaged students in the work that we do every day and engaged students in the learning. On the left, you can see our district office technology director, Andy Cole, facilitating some book checkout lines. You see the Target bags there, our LMC transformed into a store to really promote some beginning of the year independent reading for our students. You can also see one of our eighth grade students showcasing her artwork that really highlights her culture and her culture's clothing, which was just beautiful. And you can also see Miss Stannard with her students at our Star Books Cafe, where they were exploring different books that they've read this quarter and reviewing and sharing and all of that. So really promoting some great literacy there. Here's an example of a simulation that our eighth grade social studies teacher, Miss April, led as a NATO summit in which they were reviewing the Ukrainian and Russian war as different political leaders who would have been part of the NATO summit and analyzing how their country's perspectives would have been influenced and how they would respond to the conflict taking place in that part of the world. Shifting to other professional development that we've received, we restructured our teachers' schedules to allow each teacher, every single teacher in the building, to observe Chris Tavani, a guru in promoting literacy engagement in our schools. Um, every teacher had the opportunity to observe her instruct a sixth grade science class. Similarly, every teacher had the opportunity for follow-up sessions with Chris Giovanni, where they were able to explore the different things that they observed and figure out ways to engage their own students and apply what they learned into their classroom. As we shift over to goal number two, we have integrated some really important social emotional learning um, components to our programming. Specifically, thank you to the school board for supporting the hiring of a social worker who has reached 100% of our students through her lessons, which are delivered every other week to 100% of our students. Some really fantastic learning has taken place through there. We also have our biannual screener called Sabres, and we've introduced an additional survey called the Sense of Safety Survey, which has yielded some very valuable results. Specifically, the Sense of Safety Survey showed us that 97% of our students feel safe during school, which is a very powerful number. Of that data, however, 82% of students indicated feeling safe in bathrooms, which is a significant difference. And so, as a result of that, we have partnered with our technology team and our securely contractors to figure out ways to bring in technology and digital hall passes so that we can monitor students leaving the classroom, who's leaving the classroom, how many students are leaving the classroom, and where are they going, so that we can promote safe environments throughout the school building, even during unstructured times. 88% of our students expressed feeling supported at Maple School. When we look at 88%, we see that 81% of students identified having a teacher that they felt comfortable approaching if they were to need something. 92% of students during our follow-up survey indicated the same. And so we can see that growth. After our intentional and deliberate response to the initial data, we see some great growth there. And we're going to continue to see growth as we focus on building those relationships with students. 87% of students expressed feeling involved at Maple. We have data that shows that 83% of our students participated in extracurricular activities at Maple this year. And we are very proud to share that we added Debate Club, a terrific club, and Science Olympiad. You'll be hearing more about Terrific and Science Olympiad later as well.
One of the ways that we promote belonging at Maple is through a program called Illuminate, where we light up kind of our sense of belonging at school and a sense of dedication and community obligation to building unity. And so this year we had two Illuminate days. The first day was our kickoff, and Chris Singleton, a speaker and athlete, came out to talk to our students about unity, and share some of his own experiences. He had our audience wrapped. And in our second day, we had a student speak to everyone and do his own welcome for Illuminate. Here's what he said.
Every next teacher must be me and all celebrate us together. As we go through the day, remember this. It's easy to love a flower, but hard to love a leaf. It's ordinary to love beautiful, but beautiful to love the old. Let's take time to notice and appreciate not just what stands out, but also the quiet, often overlooked things that make each person special.
This is an image of our closing ceremony. In this activity, every student created a paper lantern. On one side of the paper lantern, they wrote something that they need from our community. So whether that's kindness or respect or reassurance. On the other side of the lantern, they wrote something that they can contribute to our community. And so it was really an activity where students are reflecting on that reciprocal relationship between give and take in building community. Other activities that happen throughout the year, we have the Art of Giving through the LMC, where our school partners with, in this case, Gigi's Playhouse, to create sensory boards. And we donate those boards to the toddler rooms at Gigi's Playhouse. The picture on top is a picture of the adorable Teddy just playing with Jess Baraka. We also conduct a lot of philanthropy through our student council. And so we have here an image of all of the toys that we collected for our holiday drive. And these are gifts that were given to our family services for this community. There are so many ways in which students experience belonging through our extracurricular activities. Band and orchestra and choir are just one way that happens, but this is just an example of ways in which our extracurricular activities support SEL and SEL supports learning in our school. We also wanted to give a shout out to our wrestling regional champions. So they're here and we're honored tonight. But that was another great thing that happened this year. Also, our 8th grade boys volleyball team won the second place in our conference, and our 7th grade boys volleyball team won first place. So we are so proud to celebrate that with them tonight.
Our math team also had a very successful year in which students qualified for the state competition. But we also participate in a local competition in the township over at the high schools against our other feeder schools. And there's about 100 or so students that participate in those across all of the different schools. And we did very, very well. Here we've got a 10th place recognition, ninth, 8th, 7th, 6th. I promise you, there were other schools represented at this competition, 5th place and a 1st place showing. Congratulations to all of our math team participants in this competition. Just a really very proud of how they performed. Thinking about how we can get the community more involved in some of the things that happen at school. Sure, we have our Parent-Teacher Advisory Council, in which we have direct connection and communication with a pocket of parents as we evolve our practices. And we have a lot of extracurriculars that require the support of our families and their involvement. And here we have our this year's musical, which was Beauty and the Beast. It had nearly 100 students involved, which is about 20% of our student body. Just really, really an impressive production. And we have family members coming in to help build the set, to help with makeup and hair and selling concessions during intermission. Just a really large operation that we're very appreciative of the support for. We also have a career day, which has become a beautiful program that lasts the entire day for our 8th grade students. They get to experience an interview process, they design their resumes, and they get to learn a bit from the parents of our community about their careers and different opportunities that may be out there for them that they might be interested in exploring. We also, as I mentioned earlier, introduced the Science Olympiad program, which is another huge undertaking. Thank you to Ms. Kearns and Ms. Rayborn for their leadership in bringing that program to Maple. We had over 40 students receive recognitions and medals across all of the competitions, which is just spectacular for an inaugural year. But there are so many different teams that operate within the umbrella of Science Olympiad, and each team requires the support of volunteer family members and parents and community members. So here you see Mr. Perpenile assisting with some engineering that our students are experimenting with. And what would belonging be without pep assemblies? Our terrific program, built on the pillars of character counts, has evolved into one of the highlights of the year, in which we have multiple pep assemblies a year. And you can see relay races and dressing up in your spirit gear. And you can also see in the top right corner, I believe that's Mr. Pittman dressed as a dinosaur, as we had our staff participate in the Mystery Singer, which was a lot of fun. Let's take a glimpse into what it looks like to walk the runway at one of our pep assembly fashion shows.
Welcome to welcome to
So our key takeaways for this year, we really focused our professional development on enhancing intentional instructional strategies to improve our student learning, focusing on reading in our schools. And our SEL data, we use our SEL data to guide student-centered decisions. So we have new programming around the data that we gathered. And finally, we remain committed to inclusion and belonging in our school, and we continue to support that throughout the year.
Thank you very much for following us through this presentation, and we look forward to a fantastic end of the 2025 school year.